Nick, I really like the Pascal Siakam version that you took. I think Toronto's been a team that's been overlooked this entire year. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if we do have playoffs come back, if his game can be sustained at that level to help his team get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I do like Ben Simmons too. Yeah, there are questions around his shooting, but I agree with you, Max, on defense and his passing ability. Those are things that make him off the charts. I think both those guys are on the outside looking in of the top 15. I do think a guy that belonged in the top 15, and the only reason that people nationally don't recognize his incredible greatness is because he's been overlooked by Kevin Durant and by Stephen Curry. But Klay Thompson is a top 5 shooter in the history of the game. Okay, he's also a top 5 two-way player in the game of basketball. And some stats, look, some of the stats he's been able to do has been insane, guys. 60 points and 11 dribbles. I think we all remember that game. There's also a stat out there lurking about him that he is just tied with Stephen Curry for making, in most seasons, 200 made threes. He's tied with Steph with 7 seasons with at least 200 made threes. Ray Allen had 5. Reggie Miller only had 1. He's never shot below 40% from the three-point line in the history of his career. Never. Ray Allen has, Larry Bird has, Reggie Miller has, Stephen Curry did just this year for the first time. And the fact that he is a phenomenal player, 6'7", can score against anybody, and he's a guy that you can put on Kawhi Leonard, he's a guy that you can put on Jimmy Butler. To be frank with you, I take Nikola Jokic off the top 15. I put Klay Thompson in the top 15.
I think Klay's a great call. I think the injury, I need to see, KD can be injured, and you can imagine him as 80% of himself still belonging in the top 15. Given Klay's injury, which is not as serious as KD's, but not so fast, just assuming he'll be 100% again, I think that I need to wait and see to see him play again. Otherwise, I'd agree with you. Klay is a fantastic two-way player. And he can put the ball on the floor. I think of the thing that Klay can't do versus what Ben Simmons can't do. Ben Simmons can't shoot at all. Klay can put the ball on the floor, but if you're the opposing defense, that's really what you want the Warriors to do. Make Klay put the ball on the floor, right? His weakness is not as glaring as Ben Simmons. I think what Ben Simmons does on the defensive end is even better than Klay Thompson, and his passing ability is on par with Klay's shooting ability. They're both elite. You know who we're not mentioning, guys, and who's been through a family tragedy, given what happened with his mother with COVID, is Karl Anthony Towns. Right. And I just want to be clear. For guys like Dak Prescott and Karl Anthony Towns, when we talk about them, we know that they're going through family tragedies, and our hearts go out to them, of course. But we still have to just evaluate what happens on the court. Karl Anthony Towns may be suffering here from 2 things. 1, his team doesn't do better. And 2, Jimmy Butler and the success Butler wound up having makes Towns look bad, right? As a team leader, as a teammate. But when you just look at what Towns can do on a basketball court, this dude is a top 15 talent easily. Top 10 talent probably.
Yep.
And even in terms of what he produces. So that's another guy who deserves strong consideration.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about Towns, and he gets a ding because people assume things about his mentality based on the Jimmy Butler situation and the team's lack of success. But I think he might be top 5 for player efficiency rating right now. He's been awesome. He has been pretty consistent. He's a good defensive presence, great offensive presence. I like him there also. I'll throw somebody else out there that you might want to look at. Well, actually, I'm not, because I don't really believe it. I'll be honest with you, I don't really believe it. So I'm going to stick with my guy, Pascal Siakam. That's the guy, and I think Klay Thompson is the one knock you have against.
Who didn't you believe in?
The one knock that you have.
Yeah, who did?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not giving the producers the luxury of having it on air.
The producer got in your ear and said it.
Yeah, it told me some nonsense that I don't believe in, and I'm not saying it. But the one knock against Klay Thompson.
He in our ear yelling Trae Young. You don't say it, Nick. You right?
Yeah. You just said it.
They just did it to me too.
They try to make me look dumb.
Are you insane?
They trying to get me clowned.
Now it's time to put him on blast,
on the internet. They try to get me clowned on the internet. It ain't Trae Young. Stop it.
And our audio just went out.
Hey,
Max,
look about this. Let me just say something. Let me say something, guys. Our producer Jeff, and we've got they've barreled in here with the Trae Young video. So
they just wanted Trae Young video.
Trae Young.
My audio just went out. They just wanted Trae Young video. Get all the way out of here
who
with that
wants to put Trae Young on here? Go ahead.
Max, let's go there, though.
They turned off my mic.
Let's talk
I
about
can't
Trae
hear
Young, though,
anything.
real
They
quick.
cut me off. I don't know what's going on. The producer.
I'll tell you what. Ben, you want to talk
ahead,
Trae
Jay.
Young, Jeff?
I love Trae Young. I love Trae Young. I think Trae Young is a special talent. I didn't know if it would translate right away. I thought he was a little bit, the size was something that I thought would hinder him, but I think he's blown past that. I think the next step for Trae Young to continue on this trajectory to be in this top 15 list is that the volume of shots, right? And I know that he's on Atlanta and that they haven't been winning games and that they had injuries to John Collins. I know those things kind of hurt them throughout the course of the season, but I think the next step to see Trae Young get to this point is the efficiency. If he can become more efficient with that scoring power, then I think he takes that next leap into the stratosphere and could become one of the best shooters and best players we've seen in this game for a long time. I really do.
They cut me off. I can't hear anything. The producer should.
Okay, well, yeah, nobody can hear anything
I
at this
couldn't hear it
point.
either, but I just got it back. You see what the producers did? They cut our audio as soon as they gave us that Trae Young nonsense. Let me throw one more out there real quick, guys, because this guy, if he's healthy, is going to be top 10 and maybe higher. Kristaps Porzingis. If Porzingis is healthy, there's nothing you can do. And that combination in Dallas is going to be impossible. It's already tough, and Porzingis is only like 75% of the way back.
Wait,
so
Max. Who are you taking out?
Ahead.
Who are you taking? Wait, LR. Wait, LR.
No.
1 second. Who are you taking out of the top 10 if you put Porzingis in the top 10, Max? Who are you taking out?
If Porzingis, I got to see a list of the top 10. I won't be hard.
I'll give you a list. LeBron James.
We don't have time for it. We'll do it later. We'll do it later. We got other stuff to.
I'm back.